Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World News live from Warsaw. United States Army Europe and Africa Command has announced plans to relocate American personnel and military equipment from Jasionka Airport to other parts of Poland. According to a report from the US Army Command, the move is a planned redeployment following months of deliberations aimed at, quote, optimizing American military operations, improving support for allied nations and partners, as well as increasing efficiency. The Polish airport near Rzeszów will still be used as a hub for transporting NATO and allied military aid to Ukraine. American forces were deployed to Jasionka following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine and were later joined by anti-air crews from Germany and Norway, among others. American troops are staying in Poland, emphasized Polish Minister of National Defense Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz. He has explained details of transferring American army from military aid hub in Jasionka.
American troops, which were designated for bringing aid to Ukraine for transportation to Ukraine, will remain in Poland. They will be relocated to different military bases on the territory of the Republic of Poland. The decision was made and it was agreed and communicated with us. We appointed military bases where we can accommodate American soldiers. It is in coordination between the US Army Command and our General Staff. These units were indicated. We are glad that despite changing the type of mission from countries of the coalition of the willing to the NATO alliance, which will be responsible for Jasionka's protection, transport and logistics, American troops will remain in Poland.
The Polish border guard has dismantled an organized criminal group specializing in facilitating illegal border crossings and aiding foreigners who stay in Poland for financial gain. 3 individuals were arrested, including 2 officials from a district employment office in the Mazovia region. A court has placed 2 of the suspects in temporary detention for 3 months. The investigation, which began after breaking up another criminal group in 2024, uncovered that from 2018 to 2024, nearly 12,500 foreign nationals from Central Asia, Africa and Ukraine received fraudulent work documents, enabling them to enter Poland and the Schengen area illegally. The criminal group used the personal details of legitimate employers and fake companies to submit false work permit applications. During the raids, investigators found evidence which included data carriers and over 25,000 euros in cash, as well as seized 3 vehicles. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has spent the day doing damage control by speaking to stakeholders impacted by the impending US tariffs. It comes as Washington announced massive levies on goods that has sent international stock markets into freefall. Our EU correspondent Angela Skudgens reports from Brussels.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has spent much of the day speaking to stakeholders, trying to allay their fears regarding US President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs. We know that she spoke to car makers such as Volvo, BMW and Volkswagen, and according to a press release early this morning, they relayed their fears regarding an impending trade war, as well as the 25% tariffs threatened by US President Donald Trump on all imported vehicles. Now, Reuters is also reporting that EU executive spoke to pharmaceutical as well as metal stakeholders, trying to gauge their understanding and how the EU can better protect them. We know that ambassadors on Wednesday will discuss the EU's countermeasures in further detail before it will go to a final vote. But the latest is in that US President Donald Trump has rejected the EU's pitch of 0 for 0 tariffs, so we'll have to wait and see how Brussels plans to hit back. Angela Skudgens from the Belgian capital for TVP World.
During a cabinet meeting, Poland's Minister of Finance, Andrzej Domański, said that he and other government officials are seeking talks with representatives of key sectors responsible for Polish exports to the US. This announcement comes just days after Washington imposed 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum and cars imported from the EU, which includes Poland.
Exports to the US are important for Poland. The United States are our 8th largest export market. With added value, it's our 2nd largest export market. This is why we want to meet with the representatives of the sectors of our economy that make up the most of Poland's exports. The automotive industry is definitely one of them, as it makes up 8% of our GDP, employs a lot of people, and has seen massive investments over the last few years. We want these investments to keep coming. This is why we would like to ask the representatives of this industry to meet us.
NATO and Japan share the same values. Our security, I believe, is inseparable, said NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte during a meeting with Japanese Defense Minister in Tokyo on Tuesday. He emphasized the importance of strengthening cooperation between NATO and Japan, highlighting shared challenges facing both countries today.
Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine shows that we cannot take our security for granted. China, North Korea and Russia are stepping up their military exercises and their cooperation, undermining global stability. And that means that what happens in the Euro-Atlantic matters for the Indo-Pacific and vice versa. So our security, I believe, is inseparable. And to put it in just one sentence, NATO and Japan share the same values, and we face many of the same challenges. So therefore I look forward to work even more closely together.
The Ukrainian military captured 2 Chinese citizens who were fighting for Russia, President Volodymyr Zelensky has said. The Ukrainian Foreign Affairs Ministry will immediately contact Beijing over the matter.
Our military has captured 2 Chinese citizens who were fighting as part of the Russian army. This happened on Ukrainian territory in the Donetsk region. Identification documents, bank cards and personal data were found in their possession. We have information suggesting that there are many more Chinese citizens in the occupiers' units than just these 2. We are currently verifying all the facts. Intelligence, the Security Service of Ukraine and the relevant units of the armed forces are working on it. I have instructed the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine to immediately contact Beijing and clarify how China intends to respond to this.
The Ukrainian Air Force has reported that Russia launched 46 drones and an Iskander-M ballistic missile during an overnight attack on Monday.
9 drones were downed while another 31 drones failed to reach their targets, likely due to electronic countermeasures, Kyiv reported. The Ukrainians did not say what happened to the remaining 6 drones or the missile. The embattled country is still reeling after a recent Russian attack that killed 9 children when a missile tore through apartment buildings and hit a playground.
On Monday, Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha called for an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council to be convened today. His appeal came in response to a recent Russian ballistic missile strike on Kryvyi Rih, which killed 9 Ukrainian children.
Ukraine has initiated an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council and a special meeting of the OSCE Permanent Council to bring Russian crimes to the forefront. Both meetings will be convened tomorrow and will help to advance peace efforts and accountability. A robust international response to Russian atrocities is critical. Such terror should never be normalized. We call for both strong condemnation and firm action.
The coastal city of Gdańsk has just witnessed a rare and remarkable event as a whale was spotted feeding just 17 kilometers from the mouth of the Wisła-Śmiała River. The crew of a local sightseeing boat observed the whale diving for 6-8 minutes, then resurfacing while releasing powerful bursts of air shooting up over 5 meters high. The appearance of a whale in the Baltic Sea is a spectacle, as these waters are usually too shallow and lacking in food to support such large marine mammals. While the Baltic Sea is home to only 1 permanent whale species, the harbour purpose, occasional visits by dolphins, humpback whales and even blue whales are becoming more frequent. Experts suggest that climate change may be shifting migration routes and food availability for these marine giants. And that will be all the news for now. Thank you for watching, but don't go away, as the bottom line with Mary Cato is coming up next.